Good morning, students. Today I will be continuing lesson 1, The Clever Jackal of your Wordsworth English Reader. I have already explained the lesson and discussed the comprehension part of this chapter. Today I'll be starting the language structure. Students, but before I start the language exercises, I would like to read the lesson for you. Listen carefully to improve your pronunciations, especially of the new words. Once upon a time, there lived a cruel and ferocious lion in a deep forest. He killed and ate any animal that came his way. All the animals of the jungle were afraid of him. One day, all the animals decided to hold a meeting in order to solve this problem. The wise old owl proposed that each day one animal should go to the lion as his meal. This was not the best solution, but since the animals were tired of living in fear all the time, they reluctantly agreed. They all went to the lion and told him about their proposal. The lion agreed. The animals decided among themselves to take turns to go to the lion. The first day, a deer was sent to the lion. His wife, the doe, cried all day. The next day, a rabbit was sent. Her little children were very upset and did not eat anything for 3 days. A whole month went by in this way. The animals were sad to see their friends and family members leaving one by one, but there seemed no solution in sight. One sunny morning, it was the turn of the jackal. His entire family came to say their final goodbyes. Like all the other animals, he also did not want to go to the lion, but he left all his friends and family members half heartedly. As he was walking towards the lion's den, he came up with an idea. He deliberately walked very slowly and reached late. The lion was hungry, and hunger had made him angrier than usual. By the time the jackal arrived, the lion was ready to eat him at once. The jackal very respectfully apologized for being late and informed him that he had set off with two of his friends as part of the lion's meal. However, on their way, they were attacked by another lion who said that he was the king of their jungle. The other lion had then eaten both his friends. It was with great difficulty that he had managed to escape. The lion was furious on hearing this. He ordered the jackal to take him to the place where the other lion was. The jackal took him to a well. The lion saw his reflection in water and thought that it was the other lion. He was so angry that without thinking, he pounced at his own reflection and fell into the well. He struggled for some time but finally drowned. The clever jackal's intelligence had saved all the other animals of the forest. They were very thankful to him and lived in the forest peacefully ever after. A story adapted from the Panchtantra. Now, as I had told that all the stories of Panchtantra have a moral value. Now, I'll pronounce all the highlighted words once again. The first word is ferocious. Again, I'm repeating ferocious. Second highlighted word is proposed. Proposed. The third highlighted word is reluctantly. reluctantly. The fourth highlighted word is half-heartedly. Half-heartedly. Next word is deliberately. Deliberately. Next word is usual. Usual. Next word is apologized. Apologized. Now, page number 9. The first highlighted word is furious. Furious. Next word is pounced. Pounced. Next word is struggled. Struggled. Next word is drowned. These were the wow words of the lesson. Hope the pronunciation is clear to you. Now I'll start with the language structure of this lesson. First, let's frame some sentences. Now, the my first word taken from this lesson is pounce. Pounce means jumped and attacked. Now you need to frame a sentence with the word pounce. I'll frame one sentence for you and one sentence you have to frame on your own. My sentence is, the cat pounced and grabbed the squirrel. The cat pounced and grabbed the squirrel. My second word for sentence is reluctantly. Reluctantly means unwillingly. The child reluctantly left for the hostel. Again, I'm repeating. The child reluctantly left for the hostel. My third word for the sentence is deliberately. The student deliberately came late to the school. Deliberately means purposely. With intention, you do a thing. So again, I'm repeating the sentence of deliberately. The student deliberately came late to the school. My fourth word for sentence is intelligence. Intelligence, everybody knows what the meaning is, and it differs from person to person, but then everybody is intelligent in his or her own sense. The sentence for intelligence is, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a man of high intelligence. Again, I'm repeating. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a man of high intelligence. My fifth word for make sentences, apologize. Apologize, said sorry. When you do something wrong and you feel sorry for it, you apologize. So, apologize means said sorry. The boy had apologized for what he had done and the teacher had forgiven him. Again, I'm repeating the sentence. The boy had apologized for what he had done and the teacher had forgiven him. So these were the make sentences. Now with the language structure of your reader book. Unscramble. The first exercise A is unscramble. Means there are letters, they are not arranged in the correct order. We have to arrange them in proper order and frame a word. Unscramble the letters to form words with the help of the meaning given. Now, the first meaning given is good luck, and the jumble letter, the word from the jumble letter would be fortunate. Good luck means fortunate. Good luck means fortunate. Okay. Again, I'm repeating. Good luck means fortunate, and the spelling of fortunate will be Fortunate. Again, I'm repeating. Fortunate. Fortunate, which means good luck. Now, let's try to frame a sentence on fortunate. We are fortunate to have such wonderful parents. We are fortunate to have such wonderful parents. Now, the second meaning is impressive or splendid. And you have to unscramble the word to get the word for this meaning. And the word would be magnificent. The word would be magnificent. The spelling of magnificent is Magnificent. Again, I'm repeating Magnificent. Magnificent. Magnificent means something which is extremely impressive and attractive. We can frame a sentence with magnificent also. That Taj Mahal is a magnificent monument. Taj Mahal is a magnificent monument. Now, our third meaning is information or skill. Information or skill. Jumble letters are given. We have to again arrange it in correct order to form the word, and the word would be knowledge. The word would be knowledge. Spelling is KNOWLEDGE. Again, I'm repeating KNOWLEDGE. Now, knowledge means information or skill. Now, let's try to frame a sentence on knowledge. We read books to increase our knowledge. We read books to increase our knowledge. I hope everybody reads books to increase their knowledge, isn't it? By reading a book, you get a lot of information and then automatically your knowledge is enriched. Now, the fourth meaning given is a small hill. A small hill, and jumble letters are given. We have to again arrange the letters in the correct order to form the word for this meaning, and the word will be hillock. Hillock. The spelling is HILLLOCK. HILLLOCK. Hillock. Hillock means a small hill. Let's try to frame a sentence on hillock. The children are playing on the hillock. Our sentence is the children are playing on a hillock. Now, the fifth meaning given is dangerous. The fifth meaning given is dangerous. And we have to arrange the jumbled letters to get the word for it. And the word would be ferocious. Ferocious. Spelling is FEROCIOUS. 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 Let's try to frame a sentence on the word ferocious. Lions, tigers, and leopards are all ferocious animals. Lions, tigers, and leopards are all ferocious animals. Now, look at the sixth meaning. Great surprise or wonder. Come on. Great surprise or wonder. You have to unscramble the jumble letters and the word would be amazing. The word would be amazing. The spelling of amazing is AMAZING. Again, I'm repeating AMAZING. Amazing. Amazing means great surprise or wonder. Now I'll frame a sentence on amazing. Modern technology is amazing. Modern technology is amazing. That sitting at home you can study through your mobiles and laptops. This is technology. And isn't it amazing that without seeing each other, we are studying. We are not missing our studies. Now we'll move to the next part of the exercise. That is singular and plural. Our next part of the exercise is singular and plural. We have already learned how to change singular nouns to their plural forms. Now let us discuss about the plural forms of nouns that are. First is, plural forms are totally different from the singular forms. Example, child becomes children. Everybody knows, as I had explained in my earlier videos also, there are certain rules for changing singular into plural. Then plural forms are same in the plural as in the singular forms. Some plural forms are same in singular and plural, such as deer, sheep, hare. These are some words which remain same in their singular as well as plural form. Then plural forms do not, some plural forms do not exist For example, advice, information. You don't have plural form for these words. The fourth rule says that plural forms do not have their singular forms. Example, trousers, pants, scissors, they do not have their singular forms. Now, on the basis of this, we have to solve the exercise. Now, in the following sentences, change the nouns and color into their plural forms and rewrite the sentences. Make other necessary changes wherever needed. Now, this point has to be noted that singular and plural word will be changed, but there are certain other things which we have to keep on mind by changing the entire sentence. The sentence will change, and you have to keep in mind, especially the subject verb agreement. The verb has to change with the plural or singular subject. Now, our first sentence is keep your knife, fork, and spoon ready for use. Now, in this sentence, three words are of different color, and we have to change those three words. The first, we'll make the plural form of knife will be knives. K-N-I-F-E will become K-N-I-V-E-S. Then F-O-R-K, fork will become F-O-R-K-S, forks. And then S-P-O-O-N, spoon will become spoons. That is S-P-O-O-N-S. Now, the sentence will remain same. Now, keep your, no change till here. Knife will become knives, fork will become forks, and spoon will become spoon, ready for use. So, the sentence will be keep your knives, comma, forks and spoons ready for use. Second sentence, the tiger has eaten up the sheep. Now, here, tiger is the colored word. Tiger will become tigers when we change its plural form, and then sheep will remain sheep only because it's singular and plural form are same. But then, look at the helping verb has. Has is used with singular subject. So, while changing the subjects into plural, we'll change the has as have. Now, our sentence will be the tigers have eaten up the sheep. So, there'll be three changes. Tiger will become tigers, has will change into have, and sheep will remain sheep only. Since the singular and plural form do not change, the tigers have eaten up the sheep. Now, the third sentence, can you shoot that deer on the hillside? Now, again, deer, there are no changes. Deer remains same. But just look at the word before deer. That is that. That. And that is used for singular things. One thing which is at far, we call it that. But then lot of things, then that's plural becomes those. So, our sentence will be, can you shoot those? That will change into those. Deer will remain same because both the forms are same, singular, plural. On the hillside. Now, hillside, this is a compound word and it will change into hillsides. That is H-I-L-L, then an hyphen, and S-I-D-E-S. So, our sentence will be, can you shoot those deer on the hillsides? We'll add S to sides and then end with a question mark. Now, the fourth sentence is, the nurse looks after the baby. Now, okay, here also two colored words are there, nurse and baby. So, nurse will become nurses. We have to add S to it. And baby, we have to change it, the Y into IS. The nurse will become nurses, N-U-R-S-E-S, and baby will become B-A-B-I-E-S. Again, the nurses looks. Now, the subject verb agreement. Again, with plurals, we don't use S in the verb. We have to change the verb into its root form. The nurses look after the babies. Now, looks will become look in the sentence. So, the nurses look after the babies. With plural, you have to keep in mind that you have to remove the S from the verb when the sentence is in present tense. Now, the fifth sentence, what replies have you received from your uncle? Now, over here, two words are colored. Reply will become replies and uncle will become uncles. Now, what replies? Reply, R-E-P-L-I-E-S. Have you received from your uncles. Only these two words will change. Now, our six sentences. I need a new pair of trousers by this Sunday. And in this, we have to change the word trousers. Now, as read in the rules, trousers will remain, they are always in plural forms, they are not treated as singular. So, in this sentence, we just need to remove the A from the sentence and add S to pairs, because we don't want one pair, we need lot of pairs. So, we'll add S to pairs. So, you need to keep this thing in mind. I need, you'll remove the A, then new PAIR will change into PAIRS, pairs of trousers by this Sunday. So, what changes have we made? We have removed the A from the sentence and added S to the word pair, because we don't need one single pair, we need more pairs. Now, the 7 sentences. This boy along with that child plays with a toy. Now, we have to change 3 words. Boy will become boys, child will become children, and toy will become toys. B-O-Y, boy will change into B-O-Y-S. C-H-I-L-D, children. C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N. And T-O-Y, toy will change into T-O-Y-S. But look, again, some changes have to be made. This is singular and the plural of this is these. So, our first word, this will change into these. That is, THIS will change into THESE. These boys along with that, and the plural form of that is those. That is THOSE. Those children. Now again, you have to remove the S from the verb play, because as per the subject verb agreement with plural subjects, we need to use the root form of verb. So, plays will become play, and then you have to remove the word from before toy, because now we are changing into plural. So your sentence would be, these boys along with those children play with toys. This will change into these, that will change into those, plays will change into play, and remove from the sentence beside making the plural forms of the colored words. Now the 8th sentence. This mouse is too clever to get into that trap. In this sentence, again, we have to change mouse. So, the plural form of mouse is mice and traps is traps. M-O-U-S-E will change into M-I-C-E, and T-R-A-P, trap will change into T-R-A-P-S. Again, this is singular and plural form is T-H-E-S-E. These mice is. Again, is used for singular, subject and present tense. So, is will change into are. So, these mice are too clever to get into that. That will change into those traps. The sentence will be, these, T-H-E-S-E, mice, is will change into are, too clever to get into, that will change into THOSE, those traps. So students, this was your exercise. Hope you have understood where to make the necessary changes while changing the singular plural in a sentence. Now our next exercise is kinds of sentences. As I have already explained in my previous videos about kinds of sentence, that was my first video. We already know that a group of words making complete sense is called a sentence. And there are 4 types of sentences which you all are aware. The first is statement. The first is statement. Second is question. Statement is also known as assertive sentence, declarative sentence, or statements. And second is questions, means interrogative sentences. Second is interrogative sentences, wherever we ask questions and those sentences end with a question mark. So, those are interrogative sentences. Now, third is request or command. That is, those sentences are known as imperative sentences, wherever you make a command or request or you suggest something. Such sentences are known as imperative sentence. For example, please give me a pen. Here you are requesting someone to give you a pen. Now, these sentences, they start with a capital letter and end with a full stop like statements. And question marks, they start with a capital letter and end with a question mark in interrogative sentences. Now, the fourth type of sentences is exclamation or exclamatory sentences. These sentences end with an exclamatory mark and they also start with a capital letter. So, let us know more about them. The simple statements beginning with a capital letter and ending with a full stop are called assertive sentences. And these sentences, they can also be converted into negative sentences by adding not to the sentences. The sentences that ask questions are called interrogative sentences. The sentences that begins with a capital letter and end with an exclamation mark are called exclamatory sentences. They express feeling of happiness, sadness, anger, shock or surprise. So exclamatory sentences, they express our feelings of happiness, sadness, anger, shock, surprise, joy, etc. Then next is imperative sentences where we make requests, give order or commands, make suggestions or give advice. They begin with a capital letter and usually end with a full stop. Now, let's start with the exercise. Write the kind of sentence against each of the following. Now, our first sentence is don't disturb me. This is an imperative sentence because you're, you're you are commanding, you're ordering someone, don't disturb me. So, this is an imperative sentence. Second imperative, I am PERATIVE, imperative sentence. Second is, won't you come to school? Now, look carefully at the sentence. It's ending with a question mark. So, it's an interrogative sentence. Spelling of interrogative, INTERROGATIVE, interrogative sentence. Third sentence is it raining out? It is raining outside. It's ending with a full stop. It is a simple statement, so it is an assertive sentence. Spelling is ASSERTIVE, assertive sentence. Fourth, never tell a lie. Again, this is an imperative sentence because you are suggesting someone, you're advising. Never tell a lie. So, this is an imperative sentence. I am PERATIVE. Now, fifth, oh, ending with an exclamatory mark. I have hurt myself. Here, you are showing your feeling, showing your pain, expressing your pain. So, this is an exclamatory sentence. Spelling of exclamatory, EXCLAMATORY. Oh, I have hurt myself. There's an exclamatory mark in the sentence. So, it's an exclamatory sentence. 6. Put the books on the table. Here again, you are ordering someone to put the books on the table. So, this is again an imperative sentence. I am PERATIVE, imperative sentence. Seventh is the earth revolves around the sun. This is an assertive sentence. This is a declarative sentence. Some declaration is there. So this sentence is assertive. ASSERTIVE. Now, the last one is, where is my new dress? Now look carefully. This is again ending with a question mark. This is a question. So all the questions are interrogative sentence. Spelling of interrogative, INTERROGATIVE. Now, next is converting assertive sentences to interrogative sentences. We have to change the assertive sentences to interrogative statement. A statement can be turned into a question by changing the order of the words and by using words such as do, does, did or was. Now, student, the first rule for changing statement into a question is, when you change a statement to a question, first look at the helping verb in the sentence. And helping verbs are has, have, is, are, was, were. So these are all helping verbs. And you just have to keep in mind that wherever there's a helping verb in the sentence, you have to move the helping verb to the front of the sentence and add a question mark at the end, because we have to convert into interrogative sentence. So we have to keep in mind that all our sentences, interrogative sentences will be ending with a question mark. And wherever you find a helping verb, you need to keep in mind that we have to move the helping verb to the front of the sentence and add a question mark at the end. Now, and if the verb is in past tense, you have to use the word did. Sentences which don't have a helping verb but the verb is in past tense, we have to use did to make an interrogative question. And where the verb is in present tense, we have to use either do or does as per the rule of changing sentences. Fine. Now let's start with the exercise. And but then we have to ensure that all the interrogative sentences use the root form of the verb. The verb always changes, whether it is in past tense or present tense. You have to remove that s or ed from the verb and bring the verb to its root form. That is the subject verb agreement. Now, first statement is you have a pen. So, our question would be, do you have a pen? It can also be, have you a pen and with the end question mark, but then we can also use, do you have a pen? Because with you, we use do. Now, second is, he likes playing football. Now, look at the verb in it, likes. S is there in likes, so it is in simple present tense. So, and he is a singular subject over here. So, we'll be using the word does. So, our question would be, does he like? Now, you have to remove that S from the verb likes as per the subject verb agreement. So, does he like playing football? And at the end, question mark. Again, I'm repeating, does he like playing football? At the end, question mark. Our third statement is, Mr. Das has a new computer. Now, look at this sentence carefully. It has got a helping verb, has. So, as told earlier, you just have to move the word has in the front of the sentence and add a question mark. Rest of the sentence will remain same. So, has Mr. Das a new computer? H of has will remain capital because we are starting a interrogative question. So, has Mr. Das a new computer? At the end, question mark. So, wherever, keep in mind, wherever there's a helping verb, we will move the helping verb in front, start the sentence with it. Our fourth statement is, Ali was late for school. Again, the sentence has got helping verb was. So, our sentence will start with was. Was Ali late for school? And remember, Ali is a proper noun, so Ali's A will remain capital only. So, was Ali late for school? At the end, question mark. Now, our fifth statement is, she enjoyed reading the story. Now, look at the verb enjoyed. It's in past tense. It is there. So, we will use did for it. So, our question would be, did she? And enjoyed will change into its root form. So, did she enjoy reading the story? At the end, question mark. You have to keep in mind that while changing into interrogative sentences, you have to bring the verbs to its root form. So, did she enjoy reading the story? At the end, question mark. Now, listening and telling exercise will be done when the school reopens because we are not having the CD now. Now, again, one creative writing exercise is there. You have read in the story how the animals in the forest were decreasing in number because the lion kept eating them. Similarly, there are many animals whose number have diminished greatly and they have become extinct. Extinct means they are literally vanishing from the earth. You must have seen the advertisement, Save the Tiger, isn't it? Because we are cutting the trees, there are no forests, so survival for wild animals is becoming difficult day by day. So you need to save the wildlife. So work, work with your partner and write a slogan for protecting animals in your notebook. Students, you need to make a slogan on your own with your friends, but I have made 3 slogans, and if you want, you can note them also. Now, my first slogan for protecting animals is save animals, save nature. My first slogan is save animals, comma, save nature. That means if you save animals, automatically you are saving the nature. There's a saying also, nurture nature and nature will nurture you, isn't it? Now, my second slogan is animal life is precious too. We think only human life is important. No, it is not like that. We need to think about animals. Animal life is also valuable. Precious means valuable. So, my second slogan is animal life is precious too. Now, my third slogan is animals are not option, they are necessary. Again, I'm repeating, animals are not option, comma, they are necessary. You cannot just take the animals for granted. They are also necessary for our survival, for our planet Earth. Animals are equally important as human beings. So, the slogan is animals are not options, they are necessary. My fourth slogan is without animals, our planet will lose her soul. So, without animals, our planet will lose her soul. Our planet, uh, it treats equally all the living beings, whether it be animal, plants, or human beings. But out of greed, human beings they kill animals and cut the trees and plants. So the planet doesn't like it, and for her all the living things are important. So on this basis of this, I have made the slogan, without animals our planet will lose her soul. We cannot imagine our planet earth without animals. So animals are necessary part of our planet, and their survival is necessary for human beings also. Hope the exercises are clear to you. Please complete these exercises in the notebook